Good day, beautiful people. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Today, we are working on the Bandanna Mini Ryder. So let's get to work. Okay, so I went ahead and I already prepped everything. So all I did was put my templates that are now available on the middle of the bandana. You need 6 bandanas for these. I ordered 8 just to make sure. But this is the mini one, so we will only be using 6, just like we did the medium one for the Bandanna Ryder. So what we will have is we're going to have 4 bandanas. We have 2 outer fabrics, 2 interior fabrics. And because this bandana is so thin, once again, I am double fleecing this project. You do not have to if you have like a thick batting, but I just don't like the thinness of these bandanas to just trust it to being fleeced once. So we are going to fleece this twice. So you need 2 pieces for your outer, 2 interior, all 4 fleeced or 2 batted. We're going to need our 2 pieces for our flap, which only needs 1 fleece, which is already on. And we have our piece for our pocket, 2 pieces, 1 fleece. The outer, interior, and fleece for that measures out to be 12 inches wide by 12 inches high. So 12 by 12. Our flap measures out to be 9.5 wide, 12 high. So 9.5 wide, 12 high. Our pocket measures out to be 12 wide and 4 inches high. So 12 wide, 4 inches high. I am just going to go with a white tabs. You can make your own. I would strongly, because this is on the sides of the bag, I would go with nylon. That is just what I would do. And we have our 2 D rings, our metal heavy duty ones. These are 3 inches. The tabs are 3 inches. So what we are going to do is we are going to start with our tabs at the sewing machine. So what we are going to do with our 2 tabs is we are going to get our D rings and we're just going to put it right here in the middle. We're going to fold and line this up, and what you're going to do is you're going to sew right here, back stitch, and you're going to sew. This is what I like to do. You don't have to do this, but I find it to keep the D ring in place. Just go ahead and give it a sew right there. And don't forget to back stitch. Do that for both of these. So we have sewn our tabs. They should look like this. We're going to set these aside for right now, and we're going to grab our flap. We are going to put the flap that has the fleece on it facing down, pretty side up, and we are going to turn the other piece of fabric pretty side down so you can see it through this one because it's not printed on both sides. So we're going to just line those up and get you some pins or clips. I like to use clips, and clip this together. And it is okay if it's not perfectly like clip or lined up together, because what we're going to do is we're going to sew this at a 1/4 seam allowance, and you are just going to start at the right hand. You're going to sew all the way down. Don't forget the back stitch. Go all the way down, curve nice and slowly, go straight, curve nice and slowly, go all the way up and back stitch up here. Do not sew the opening at the top. We need to flip it inside out. All right, so we have sewn our 2 pieces for our flap together. We're going to turn it inside out, and what you're going to need to do is you are going to need to turn your iron on and press this down before you top stitch it. Excuse me. Just so that it will line up good, and give this a good press. And then you are going to start at your right hand side, go down, back stitch, and top stitch all the way around. And then once you get back up here, you can back stitch. You can close this opening up if you want. At this point, you don't have to, because you're about to close it up on the outer fabric, but you can close it if you would like. Okay, so our flap should look like this. We're going to go ahead and do the outer fabric first. So grab one of your outer pieces. We're going to lay it down pretty side facing up. You are going to lay this facing down, pretty side to pretty side. This should measure out to be 1.5 inches on both sides. Where's my, all right, let's just make sure. So it should measure out to be 1.5 inches. It might come in a little bit more than 1.5 inches, which is perfectly fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to clip it in place. So it should be pink to pink. And if you're doing bandanas or doing reversed, the reversed one will be on the other color, so blue and pink. So pretty side to pretty side. If you are not doing bandanas, because you do not have to do just bandanas, you can do any color. Just make sure that the colors are reversed, or you have two different types of design on here. So what you're going to do is you're just going to go ahead and give this a top stitch, and don't forget to back stitch. So we have put our flap onto our outer fabric. Now we're going to assemble the outer pieces together. We're going to go ahead and fold our flap up and clip it just to get it out the way, so that we do not stitch it to the bottom. Then we're going to grab our other bandana outer piece, and we're going to put it pretty side to pretty side. And you're going to line these up, and you are going to clip these into place. And you are going to go ahead and give this a sew, starting at your right hand side, all the way down across, and go back up to your left hand. Don't forget to back stitch. So we have sewn our outer fabrics together. We're going to set this aside for now. We are going to grab our pocket, the pocket with the fleece on it, or I'm sorry, the fabric with the fleece on it, set it down pretty side up. You're going to set your other piece of fabric pretty side down, so pretty side to pretty side, and you are going to give this a sew on the top, and you're going to sew the bottom. Do not sew the sides, so we can turn it inside out. Okay, so we have sewn our two pieces of fabric for our pocket. We are going to just do our best to turn it inside out without ripping it. You will need your iron on for this also, so you can press this down. If I can grab it. There is a tool for this. I will most likely try to find it and put it in my Amazon storefront. All of my supplies that I am using, it is in my Amazon storefront also. So if you need something, you just go over there. It's all categorized. So what we're going to do now is we can clip this together like this. And then we are going to iron this down before we top stitch it, because it's a little crinkly. So what you need to do is iron this, and then just go ahead and give this a top stitch right at the front on the top, and don't forget to back stitch. We have top stitched our pocket. Now we are going to grab one of our interior pieces, set it down pretty side up. We are going to put our pocket on, and we are going to set this 3 inches, let me make sure, 3 inches from the top, because we will be boxing these corners, so the bag is going to drop. So we're going to clip this in place at 3 inches. We're going to make sure all of it is 3 inches. Okay. And then we are going to go ahead and start from the right hand side. We're going to go down a little bit, back stitch, go ahead and go straight, come across, go up. Don't forget to back stitch on your left hand side. Do not sew the top of the bag, the pocket. You need that to be open. And then you can go ahead and measure the bag, which it should probably 6 inches is what your line will be to do your pocket. You can do as many pockets as you want, but for this one I'm going to do it in the middle at 6 inches, and I'm going to put a straight line right there. And don't forget to back stitch on those also. Alrighty, we have sewn our pocket on and our individual spaces for our pocket. We are going to lay that fabric down that we just did. We're going to grab our other interior fabric. We are going to set it on the top. We're going to line it up. I'm going to tell you 2 ways to do this, because you can make this rider reversible if you would like. So the first way that we're going to do it, because I'm not going to make it reversible this time, I will show you how to do it though. We're going to start at the top, and we're going to go ahead and back stitch, or go a little bit, back stitch, go all the way down, all the way to the middle. We're going to leave us a gap right here. We're going to back stitch on each side, and then you're going to go ahead and start back over here and go ahead and finish it off on the left hand side. And don't forget to back stitch on the top. This opening right here will be where we turn the bag inside out. If you wanted to make this reversible, just go ahead and sew the whole entire bag together just like you would on the outer fabric. So do not leave an opening here. I'll show you where you would leave your opening in our next step. So go ahead and sew this here, leave you an opening at the bottom if you don't want it to be reversible. If you want it to be reversible, just go ahead and sew the whole entire bag together. Okay, so we have sewn both of our panels together. What we're going to do is box our corners. For our bandana rider, we did 2 inches. For our mini rider, we are going to do 1.5. So we're going to go ahead and take our flap and pull it out so we don't cut it. And we are going to cut 1.5 inches from the seam allowance. And we are going to cut those squares for all 4 corners, but all 2 panels. So each corner will have the corner cut out. If you have the template, these will already be cut out for you. So you should have already done that in the beginning when you cut out all your fabrics. And if you want to cut out the corners at the end, you can do that also. So each one is 1.5 inches. For each side. And then once you cut these, you're going to go ahead and box them like we normally do. Any kind of tote bag, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and box them, each of the corners, just like this. And what I like to do with that extra fabric and fleece on the side, I just like to fold it against each other like that so it lays flat. So what you're going to do is it's going to look like this, and you're going to do that for all 4 corners, and go ahead and sew, and probably sew across this edge right here a couple of times on your outer fabric. You don't need to do that for your interior. and then go ahead and sew. Don't forget to backstitch. We have boxed our corners for the outer and interior fabrics. What you're going to do next is you're going to turn your interior fabric inside out. Make sure all of the fabric looks good, the seams look good. Make sure there's no holes in anything. And then what you're going to do is wherever the flap is where your pocket is going to go. So your pocket's going to go up against the flap. So you're going to put your interior fabric inside. You're going to line them all up, starting with the sides first. You're going to start clipping these in place. And grab your tabs, because this is where you will put your tabs in. And you're just going to have to work with it, kind of push it around a little bit so that it lines up correctly. And then once you're done clipping all the way around, you are going to get your tab, both of your tabs, and you're going to put them in the sides of your bag where your seam is. So what you're going to do is just put it just like this, line it up in the middle, and that line that we sewed to put it together at the edge of it where the raw edges are, you're going to keep that above the fabric. So we're going to clip that. We're going to do the same exact thing to this side. And then once you get to your machine and sew this around, you will have to adjust this because it will move once you once you're sewing it around. Okay, so this is what it should look like. What you are going to do if you want to keep this reversible, you are going to sew around and you are going to leave an opening in the top of the bag. Instead of leaving it in the bottom of the bag, you're going to leave it in the top of the bag on this side and the front, not where the flap is, on the side where there's nothing here, if you want it reversible. But if not, then just go ahead and give this a top stitch all the way around and don't forget to back stitch. So we have top stitched our bag. We are going to go ahead and pull the outer fabric through the interior fabric. If you decided to reverse this bag, all you are going to do is pull it from the top where you didn't sew it from. And then we are just going to carefully, because I accidentally left my hole a little bit too small for my liking. But I was trying to do other colors that I have not done yet. And I do not believe I've done a pink, like a baby pink and a baby blue before, and it is so cute. So we are just going to carefully do this without ripping it. And we will iron this down. There we go. There we go. And you're going to poke out your corners. Make sure all your seams and your sides look good. Your handles look good. There will be little threads. You just gonna have to just cut them off before you get to the, before you top stitch it. So this is what it's looking like so far. And it is a little bit smaller than the regular bandana one. This is the mini version. And what we are going to do, and if you have top stitched it, or I'm sorry, if you have done this reverse, you're just going to fold in. You're going to fold this all in, and then you're going to fold the top in, and then just go ahead and top stitch it around. But right now, seeing that we have to close this hole, we're going to go ahead and close this hole and then push all this in. Okay, we have closed our hole. I completely forgot because I've had a lot of people ask me how to put a button on. You would put the button on before you close your interior bag. I mean, before you close your interior fabric, or even before you close your top if you're doing reversible. So what you would do is you would just put everything in the bag, and let me see if I can show you. So you would just try your best before you would close this up. You'll just fold it over and you'll measure where you want the button at. So you would pierce like right here, and you'd make a mark and pierce right here in the middle. So you'll have to fold it over like this to measure it. And then you can just easily do that through the interior hole. Now, if you wanted to do it before you did everything, you could most likely do that also. Just remember that you're going to box the corner. So if you see it like this, and if you do it this design, you'll be able to just like poke a hole right here, and it should match up pretty well right there. So now what you're going to do is just put everything inside of your bag. So it's looking cute. Got your 2 pockets. And then you are just going to go ahead and line these up to where they don't like come out farther than the other. So just line them up to where they're even all the way around the bag. And if you were to do your reversible bag, you would just fold in these parts and you would just clip that. And cut off the rest of your little strings. So what I would do is I would start from over here and go ahead and stitch a little back stitch, and then when you sew all the way around, make sure that your flap is pulled out like this, and then just go ahead and sew all the way around, and don't forget to back stitch. And we are done. We have officially made the mini bandana rider. This is what it should look like. We have our flap, our pockets inside. Everything looks so cute. I love the colors. I went ahead and just did white nylon straps. I'm sorry, tabs, because if someone wants to buy this, they can change out the strap to white, black. They could change it out to pink. So I kind of left it up, like just, you know, just an option that they can choose from. And I went ahead and put the strap on, and I'm just going to use this blue strap I got from Amazon. This is in my storefront. I love these straps. They're adjustable. They provide me a little bit less work, so I like using these straps. So this is the Bandana Mini Ryder, and next week I believe I will be doing the large version of this rider. So y'all stay tuned for that one. Until next time.